Now, Erie's premier podcast. News about music, health, and what's happening. It's Breakfast with Nat the Hat in the 814. Sponsored by Erie Insurance.
Do I smell the bacon? Are you cooking bacon? Good Sunday morning, friends of LECOM Radio. Welcome to the very first podcast. It's Breakfast with Nat the Hat in the 814, sponsored by our friends at Erie Insurance. I've got a lovely view from the 11th floor of the Renaissance building at LECOM Radio Studios, and I'm sending much gratitude to Jim Schaffner. He's what we call the Big Cheese, and the LECOM team for making my very own show a reality. Just a little background. I was working for the American Cancer Society in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, helping to save lives, celebrate lives, and fight for a world without cancer. And was, as many others during the pandemic, furloughed from my position. And I knew it was time to come home. And I'm really, really glad to be here. With my parents aging and being always concerned with their well-being, as I know many of you are faced with as well, I came home to the 814. And I continue to work in the nonprofit sector. I'm the marketing and media coordinator for Second Harvest Food Bank. You know, I realize there are so many wonderful nonprofit organizations who contribute so much to our communities. And now I have the platform to share their missions and how much they make a difference in the 814. I'm also glad to be a part of the transformation and the revitalization of Erie and having this platform to make all the difference in the world. So this morning, I'm super excited to see my friend Kim McCaslin, Associate Vice President of Operations, and Karen Hund, Options Care Manager at GCAC. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning.
Good
We're so happy
morning.
to be here on your first podcast.
I know. Exciting stuff. Do we want to hold hands and maybe sing Kumbaya?
We can. We're all in.
Well, you know, it's GCAC says helping people and changing lives. So, Kim, first off, tell me about yourself and how much time you've spent in the 814. Give us a little background on yourself.
Well, I am a hometown girl, originally from Girard, Pennsylvania.
That's where I live now, girl.
You do?
I am. I'm a G-Town gal.
Me too. I love it. I love it. Yes, both my parents were teachers at Girard. I had 3 brothers growing up, and so I was one. I wanted to move away. And out of everybody, I am the one that stayed. I found a wonderful career, met great people, and I just love the area. So I'm not going anywhere.
Take me back to your career. How did you get into the nonprofit sector?
Well, I originally started right after high school. I joined the Army. Was stationed in Frankfurt, Germany. And from there, I went on to Slippery Rock, the Rock, and got my degree in communication.
So
And-
you're just, wow, I got a little theater mixed in. Did you ever do any theater?
No, but maybe on a Friday night, you might catch me singing and dancing, but not, but not on a stage.
Love to hear that. So, Slipper, you were in the Army.
I was in the Army, went to the Rock.
So you are a proud veteran.
I am a proud veteran.
Wow.
Yes.
That is something I did not know about you.
Yes, my family we have a lot of proud veterans. My son actually just got out of the Navy. So I have another proud veteran. So yeah, we, serve the country, serve Erie County, serve my family and friends. What more could you want in life?
That is great. So Karen,
Yes, good.
I mean,
day.
good day to you.
Yes,
And we go way back as well.
we do.
Tell me, give me an idea of where were we involved with one another before?
It could have been the Cathedral Center, and right.
Yes.
I believe. Yep. I was at the Cathedral Center and St. Peter Cathedral for 17 years.
Then
And
my
that's
son
where-
went to the
right,
Cathedral
yep,
Center. That's
yep,
right, Karen.
Yep, that's where we know each other.
Oh, he was in the theater there. That was a lot of
Yep,
fun.
he was.
So tell me about you. Give me some background on you, Karen.
Well, I was born in Erie, have been in Erie most of my life. I've got 2 sisters. It's been wonderful. I've been involved in nonprofits ever since whenever. I've worked with people with intellectual disabilities for probably 25 years, and then worked at St. Peter Cathedral as the youth minister and pastoral minister.
That's what you were.
And religious
Okay.
education, yep. And then I started working at GCAC, helping with GEDs. I taught for GEDs. And
Wow.
then I have a son that I took in. And so it was difficult to work at night. And so GCAC moved me to the aging division.
Nice.
So it's been,
So how many years have you been there?
I've been at GCAC, I believe, for 8 years now.
How about you, Kim?
10 years.
You're a 10-year.
I'm one of the old gals now.
Tell me about your mission.
Our mission is to eradicate poverty in Erie County. We started in 1965 during the War on Poverty, and the war continues, actually.
Yes.
And so we are here to help the community make sure that they can, people can be self-sufficient. Nobody wants to rely on anybody else. We want to give them the tools and the means to be self-sufficient.
I love that line, the tools that one needs to get ahead in life. What inspired the beginning of your organization? Besides poverty, was there, I'm trying to think what year was it? And it was back in 65. Was it JFK?
It was Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon B.
Lyndon Johnson. He saw the need and he started Head Start. He started a lot of different programs at that time. And then Congress decided that they needed an organization in every county of the United States that can focus on poverty, because poverty in downtown Chicago is a lot different than poverty in rural Wisconsin. And so we are part of that. There's over 1,000 community actions across the United States.
I was going to say.
Yes.
So how many are in Pennsylvania alone? I don't think people know that there's GCAC everywhere.
I'm going to make a guess and say around 50.
Wow.
Yes. So if people are listening outside of the area right now and you need help, just look up your local community action.
So they are, 50 is a lot.
Yes.
I had no idea there were that many.
Yes, we serve every county in Pennsylvania.
There is
a community action.
Tell us where you're located too, so people know.
So we are located at 18 West 9th Street.
Okay.
Right downtown Erie here. We also have a few locations where we have senior centers. We have 7 senior centers throughout Erie County. So we're serving a lot of people. A lot of people think we just serve the city, but it's not true. We deliver meals. We have in-home care. We do. We are out in the field where the people need us. So we're all over Erie County.
In Erie County, by the way, we are an aging community. Look at us. So tell us about the various programs under the umbrella of GCAC for seniors.
Sure. Well, let's start with aging. Like you just said, we are an aging community, and unfortunately, we are getting older and sicker and poorer on top of that. So we are under the GCAC umbrella is the Area Agency on Aging, and we are responsible for bringing services to seniors throughout the community. And we do that in a variety of ways. We have a lot of different programs. One I just mentioned, the Meals on Wheels, where seniors get free meals delivered to their home, and a check-in. A volunteer will come to the door, see how they're doing, make sure everything's okay.
Right.
A lot of times, our volunteers are the only people, the only person that somebody will see in a day. So it's a lot more than just a meal when we're delivering food to seniors.
And speaking of Meals on Wheels, how can one volunteer? Because there's a lot of people out there that got plenty of time on their hands. Can you use people for Meals on Wheels?
We certainly can. We can use daily drivers, and we can also use drivers that are just fill-ins. If people do get sick and have things happen, they go on vacations. So full-time drivers and then fill-in drivers would be great. All you have to do is go to our website, which is gcac.org, and go right to Meals on Wheels volunteers. Hit on that tab. It'll give you all the information.
How about the something to do with grandparents, adopted grandparents? I recall hearing a story from somebody not too long ago. I believe I was at the Niagara Network, which we share all kinds of nonprofit talk, and somebody talked about that program.
It is called the Foster Grandparent Program, and it is actually through our AmeriCorps seniors.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yes. This program is amazing. And a lot of people, I think they get confused when they hear foster grandparents. We're not adopting grandparents, and they are not adopting anyone. What our foster grandparents do is they go into a school or some sort of daycare situation where kids need some mentorship. They assist the teachers by reading to the kids, talking to them, just being that support that school, that teacher, that child needs. And we have lots of foster grandparents, and they are called grandma and grandpas. They get big hugs. The kids never forgive them. They're always the one there to give them, just a little pat. It's going to be okay. Congratulations, you're doing great. So it's as rewarding for the volunteer as it is for the children.
That is great. And like I said, if any senior out there would want to volunteer for that, all they have to do is go to the website and check into, is there certain areas that you're in, or can they choose what school or what daycare they go to? Or
They can definitely choose. We do have a list of schools and locations that they can work from. Unfortunately, during COVID, a lot of the schools were not allowing any volunteers in. And so we are just really ramping back up again.
Good.
The kids have missed their grandma and grandpas. So we are back in the schools. So again, just go to our website, find the information. One of the great things about this program is any volunteer gets a stipend. And that stipend helps pay for their transportation and just the little necessities to help them to be able to volunteer.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So they get a little something.
They do.
So and because our seniors right now on a fixed income, you've got inflation through the roof. They have to decide on their prescriptions, their rent, their heat. I mean, I have a 91-year-old mother, and she still lives in her own home, and she still comes and goes. So I know, that everything, it's a difficult time for our seniors.
It really is. And we do not want them to have to make that choice. And so to make it easier so they can get out of the house, get away from their TV, be around other people.
Oh, bravo.
Be the vibrant people that they are. They can continue to give that wisdom and love to the community. So that it's not $1 million, but it's a small stipend to be able to
Put gas in your car.
put gas in your car.
Maybe have a little
Absolutely.
lunch.
A little lunch.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. That was, I remember hearing about that program, and that just woke me right up. I'm like, one of these days, I want to be that person.
Then we have a program that's almost the opposite. We have a program, it's called Caregiver Support, where grandparents that are raising their grandchildren can actually get money to pay for school fees, clothing, all of that type of thing. A lot of our grandparents out there are raising their grandchildren. And so it's called Caregiver Support. It is an amazing program. Please call about it. The money is there for you to help you care for your grandchildren. Again, we don't want people to have to make that choice.
Right.
Of, can I care for my grandchildren or I can't? We want to make that simple for you so you're able to give that child everything they deserve in life.
And that's what's happening all over. I just have dog babies. I don't have any.
We love our dog babies.
Yeah. I have 4-legged babies right now. I'm hoping for more, but that's a great program too.
Really
Anything
is.
else that we haven't discussed with the seniors yet that would be of help to them?
One of the sad programs that is so necessary and so vital for this county is our older adult protective services.
Interesting. You should talk
Yes.
about that, because I believe I belong to the independent
Council on Aging.
Thank you for helping me out with that, ICA. And they just had a forum not too long ago about that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there is a lot of abuse going on.
There's a lot of abuse, not only physical, financial. A lot of our seniors are abusing themselves by not taking care of themselves. And so we really, again, I hate to bring up COVID, but because our seniors have been locked in for so long, we just have seen it explode, that our seniors are just getting exploited and abused. So if anybody knows or sees anything, please call our Older Adult Protective Services hotline. And again, that is 459-4581.
Give that to us one more time, can you?
459-4581. And then the evening and weekend phone number is 451-1520.
I know, in fact, somebody that his son thought that was going on. His father was living alone, and your organization came in and helped out tremendously,
That's fantastic to hear.
because that is going on all around us.
It really, really
And
is.
it is sad.
And
but-
it doesn't matter, what they look like, where they live, how much money they have. Abuse is abuse for everybody. So, you might think, well, that's not happening to my neighbor.
Right.
Maybe it is. And it's good. It's better to report than not to report.
Also, with our seniors, do you have any programs to keep them in their homes? Is that something you do as well?
All of our services that we provide through the Area Agency on Aging, the whole purpose of that agency is to keep seniors in their homes. So everything we provide, from our senior centers, getting them out, socialization, making sure they have their lunch every day, making sure their medicines are being taken, giving them activities, to our in-home care services that we provide, to be able to help people when they need a little help dressing or bathing or medicine management. So everything that we do is to keep seniors in their
own homes. That's wonderful.
The important part of this is that it's very expensive for an older adult to go into a nursing home. And a lot of times it's unnecessary. If we can just provide a few little things that they need, they can stay in their home. They can be a vital part of the neighborhood and keep on thriving. So that's what the Area Agency on Aging does.
Kim, wonderful stuff. Well, another thing that I wanted to talk about, Karen, we're going to talk about your special little thing coming up here. You sent me a flyer by email, and it's called Warming Erie County. So I'd love to know more, Karen.
Well, we've had Warming Erie County, I believe this is our fourth year.
Our fourth year.
Our fourth year this year. And we saw a need. We do Christmas gifts for people. And we saw a need for at Christmas time 5 years ago that people need assistance with getting winter coats. When you live on a limited income, a winter coat can be a luxury.
Sure.
So we have a lot of churches and organizations that are collecting now winter coats and socks and blankets and gloves and hats. We have the senior Northeast knitters who knit hats and scarves for us.
The Northeast knitters.
Yes.
Awesome.
And we have like 5 huge bags that they've knit through the year. So like when this one's done, they'll start knitting for next year. It's wonderful.
That's great.
It is. And that's a way to keep seniors active. It's a group of seniors who want to do something for the community. And so we provide that for families and the elderly and single people who are in need. It's not only for people who are in the aging, but it's through all of our programs at GCAC. We have a lot of other programs.
Sure.
And anybody can come. The 3 events that we have one in Albion.
I see that on Academy Street.
Yep. And the Senior Center in Albion is October 20th. The Senior Center in Union City will have it October 27th.
You are doing really well. I'm looking at this pamphlet here.
Yeah.
And you've got this down to a science, my friend.
And then Erie has it on Saturday, November 4th. And so people can come and get items that will help them. And part of what our outreach committee does is try to find creative ways to help people.
This is great. I know that I recall another flyer from you, Karen, and it was cleaning products.
Yes.
Tell me about the that was fantastic too.
That happened in June, this past June. We did 342 bags, I believe, that were given out to some people, and then we did another 400 or 500 that were given out to. We did Albion, Northeast, and Erie, and that actually came from two of the churches that we have worked with over the years, and they had noticed that at Christmas time people were requesting cleaning supplies, and so their thing was, can we do something? So I took it back to Mr. Jones and people at GCAC and said, hey, we have a few churches who want to do this. So we kind of did a pilot program to see like how many would get it. And everybody wants those bags. I mean, it has laundry detergent in it, dryer sheets, cleaning supplies for the house. I mean, Windex. And if you think of it, the bags were like $75 to $80 worth of items.
Nice.
But again, if you're on a limited income,
you can't afford those
you
things.
can't afford those things.
And that event is called Spruce Up Erie County.
So you got warming Erie County. You're
And we spruce
sprucing
it
up. Beautiful.
Hygiene poverty is a real thing. If people can't keep their bodies clean, if they can't keep their home clean, their vehicle clean, it's really hard to be successful in life if you cannot do those things.
Right.
It's very hard to go for a job interview. It's embarrassing to go out in public. So hygiene poverty is a real thing. And I applaud Karen. She works so hard on top of her full-time job at GCAC. She has taken on this, I'm calling it a crusade.
I love it.
To help people in our community stay warm and combat hygiene poverty.
Right.
And when they come for the Spruce Up Erie, we also have churches organizations that do personal hygiene projects, so they can take up to 5 items in addition to the cleaning items.
Oh, see, I didn't know there were
Right.
personal hygiene.
Toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, things. Again, people should not have to make that choice of, do I pay for my medicine and food, or do I take a shower and stay clean?
Right.
Right. And like you said, Kim, for some people who are going for their job interviews and things, not to be clean, it's really hard to go to a job interview.
Right.
It just is. And so some people may think, well, what's the real thing with that? But that is a way we overcome poverty, is to give them what they need so they can go for those
And
job
feel good
interviews.
about themselves.
Yes.
That's so important.
Right.
Because when you don't feel good about yourself, nothing else good happens to
Right.
you. So I had no idea that there was also some personal hygiene items. I remember the cleaning products. I thought,
Right.
this is fantastic. And especially, I don't know, since the pandemic, and we always look back to the pandemic, but it really changed our world.
It
It
really did. And
Yes.
the cost of items. Just, anyone that's gone to the store lately to buy laundry detergent.
It's awful.
And
It really
the
is.
expense of just washing your clothes is just, something that we take for granted.
Right. And you, it's so true. And you think to yourselves, and now, since the pandemic is over with and the SNAP benefits, they ended up taking the nutritional assistance program monies away from most of these people. And now they have $20 to work with instead of the
Right.
$200 that they had.
I had people who would have, as a single person, $198 during the pandemic and went down to $24.
Yes.
Like Kim, you were saying, costs went up. So what does $24 buy nowadays?
Not much.
Not much. I mean, seriously, you can't go to a store and be like, oh, I have my SNAP benefits. I'm going to have enough food for the month.
Right. Yeah. There's so many, like I said, since the pandemic, there's so many areas that, and especially with the seniors. And I'm so glad that GCAC is there for our seniors, because at this point, seniors from the pandemic were just, all by themselves
Right.
and scared to go out. And,
They were.
and just knowing that this, and I call it the C word because I don't even like to use it anymore, right? That it could harm them.
Right.
And it's scary. I mean, I can't imagine being that elderly and knowing that if I go out my door and maybe go somewhere or do something, I mean, we were very, very isolated. And that's what happened to them as well.
It did. There was a lot of depression. Through our senior centers, we serve almost 1,000 seniors throughout Erie County. that were active participants in our senior center. And of course, we had to close our senior centers, but we didn't stop serving our members. We would do drive-bys, drop off gifts, ongoing phone calls and communication. How are you doing today, Betty? How are you feeling? And so nobody
That's
felt
great,
alone
Kim.
through the whole pandemic.
Yeah. And now that we're kind of coming out of this situation, it's nice for our seniors to know that GCAC is there for them and all the different things you do. Is there anything else, Karen, that besides the cleaning products, and now we're warming up Erie County here?
Well, we've done a distribution of food bags. We
Great.
did that for the first time this year. It was a pilot program, again, initiated by some of the churches who were like, at Christmas time, people came and that was what they wanted, a bag of groceries. And so we had churches that were like, maybe if we do that. And so we did a distribution of some bags as a pilot. So we'll see where that goes. And then we do Christmas gifts at Christmas time for our consumers.
That's what I wanted to know. How can somebody become involved in giving so that somebody can have a wonderful Christmas gift?
They could always call GCAC and ask to talk to someone about it. We will take donations. We need new items, and we have a list of seniors and people in our GED program and our workforce development program. All the programs we have, they refer people for Christmas time.
How about the churches when they have their giving trees? Do you normally get involved in that too, where they can pick a?
We have approximately 17 churches that help us at various times throughout the year. I think we have a total of 42 churches right now and organizations that have helped us with all the different things, whether it's warming Erie, like St. Jude's is collecting things, St. Jude's School is collecting, Our Lady of Peace is collecting, Senior Helpers is collecting socks. There's like a huge list of people. Elevate Church has, they called us and said, we had boots. Do you want boots? And they gave us like 261 pair of boots that we've never been able to give people many boots at. So
Wow.
we're going to have boots this year. I mean, but we have a lot of different groups and churches and organizations that give at different times. So they don't give to every single thing, but they
Sure.
choose like one or two things.
Now, it's nice to have that liaison with the churches, right?
It is.
Tell me, Kim, though, how are you funded?
Mostly we're funding through grants.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know how grants work. They think that you get it automatically every year.
Oh, no.
Right? You know.
No, I know.
Okay, so we'll preach. I'm not preaching to the choir, but
Right.
what happens is the government sees a need in the community and wants to provide those services. And of course, the government doesn't have the infrastructure to provide those services. So they put out something called a request for proposals. And what GCAC does is if we feel that we can provide that service and do it really good, we write a grant saying, this is how we're going to do it. This is how the goals we're going to meet. This is how we'll evaluate the program. And then whatever the government entity is looks at all of those proposals and they choose the best organization to deliver that service that the government thinks that the community needs. And so we write a lot of grant proposals because we've been around forever. We have our hands in everything in the community.
Yes, you do.
We have a lot of experience. And so a lot of time we are funded through those grants. We also, we can't do it without the community. We can't do it without the donations, the volunteers, the in-kind gifts. And so we do a lot of fundraising. And, you know, if people feel that we're important, which I hope after this podcast, they're going to realize the impact that we make on people's lives every day.
I'm realizing this now. I mean, I know that there are a lot of programs that you were involved in, but now I see exactly what an impact you are making in our community. You're awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that we also provide, Karen had talked about the GED testing.
I wanted to talk about education too, because I know that you got your hands in that as well.
We do. We know that's a pathway out of poverty for a lot of people, education. And our GED testing center, we are the only site in Erie County that people can come and take their GED exam. And so they would have to travel to Warren, would be the next closest. And so we are so grateful, for the funding that the county is giving us to help us to be able to keep that GED testing center open.
And being educated is so important, and to have that GED or your diploma so you can go out and work, because there are jobs now more than ever.
There are, but a lot of them is the bottom line. You have to have your high school
Diploma.
or an equivalency. And so, there's so many reasons why people didn't get their GED. I mean, they range from 40-year-old people saying, I dropped out to help my family. My mom was sick, to,
Right.
any other. I just had a difficult time in high school. So, being able to, given that chance to go ahead and get that diploma, and they can move ahead in life, go on to college, trade school, go into their, career that they're looking into. So it's a real vital service for our community.
How about helping people with their expenses, or should I say taxes, or anything of that nature? Do you do that too?
We do. This year, we are going to be running the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. So we're very excited to be doing that. United Way has stepped out of that role, and GCAC is now taking it over. So we have partners are in Northeast and out in Corey that we're going to be working with. So we'll be recruiting volunteers. We've always done it at our downtown location. We get a lot of people just dropping in to do their taxes. So it's really, really important program for the community.
Is this the first year that you've been doing it, or did United Way hand that over to you?
We have always been a partner in it. We have always been a site. We've trained our staff to do it as volunteers. So I used to do taxes, actually, and until they gave me too much work to do at GCAC.
Can I pop over to your place in Girard?
As soon as we get off this, I will be helping you.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
So we
Glad to hear it.
encourage people to keep looking for that information coming out. It will be coming out the closer we get to tax season, that yes, you will be able to get your taxes done in Erie County.
Great. Is there anything else, ladies, that you'd like to share with our LECOM listeners about GCAC before we...
I just want to say, with
Yes.
the GED program, we also have classes that we help people prepare for the GED. And Beth does that program, and it's wonderful. So it's not just that you come in and take your GED test, but we have teachers there who will help with testing, with preparing you. That's what I used to do. That's where I started.
Do we do any mental therapy at all?
Well, we usually do that after work. But
Gotcha.
no, we partner with a lot of organizations. GCAT cannot do it all. We partner with the food bank and all
Yes.
kinds of different organizations that provide these services. So we know we can't be everything for everybody. So we are so lucky to be in a very rich community of nonprofit organizations to help with that.
Well, I want to thank you both for being on my very first podcast. My eyes are completely wide open now to all the things that GCAC does. And thanks, Kim. And thank you, Karen, for coming on today. And again, where is GCAC located? In downtown Erie?
We are at 18 West 9th Street, downtown Erie. The best thing to do, though, is go to our website at www.gcac.org. It has all the information that you could be looking for. It'll give you all of the staff, the directors of all of the programs, their phone numbers, easy ways, many ways to connect with us.
And how about the senior helpline number again for our friends?
Our senior helpline is 459-4581, extension 400. So if you ever have any questions about anything aging in Erie County, that should be your first step. Call the GCAC Senior Helpline.
Incredible stuff. Thanks for coming on today. And ladies, I'm jazzed to introduce our next guest here shortly, who is an entertainment goddess in the 814. It is Monica Lewis, who just put out her very first album. It is called Six String Cure. So we're going to take a listen to one of her songs and then chit chat with her next. This one is called Kiss You.
summer day, beneath the blue sky, you took my breath away. How we laughed as we lay in the sand, and how your hand found my hand. Now I just wanna kiss you, and I just wanna be with you. And all the miles between us won't justify, but I wanna try. Feeling the warmth of our sun-kissed skin. Feels like something was about to begin. Then I hesitated, I don't know why. You said goodbye and just drove. Now I just wanna kiss you. I just wanna be with you. And all the miles between us won't justify, but I wanna try. You are miles away. You're miles away. You're miles away. Now I wonder what you feel out there. Is there a second chance for this love affair? All I hear is the ticking of a clock, but it's my heart. It won't stop now. I just wanna kiss you. I just wanna be with you. And all the miles between us won't justify, but I wanna try. And will you try?
Monica,
Yes.
Kiss You.
Oh, you like
Tell me about Kiss You. It's Monica Lewis on the show this morning. Monica, it's great to have you on. You had your big debut last night for your release, your album release party.
Oh, man.
Maybe maybe instead of talking about Kiss You, let's go back to the beginning. Can we do that?
Sure,
Because it's a
absolutely.
great story to tell. How did Monica find her voice?
So I was not one of those musicians, and all my musician friends tell me their stories about being in chorus in school and taking music class at school in high school. I did not do any of those things.
Right.
I did not even know that I could sing until I found out by accident, and you were there.
I was there.
Yes, and I was a late bloomer in many ways, and one of the ways in which I bloomed late was going to college. I was working full time at Gannon, and I was trying to earn my degree at night, and I needed some practicum credits to graduate. And they said, why don't you try out for the school play? They're doing a play in the Gannett Theater. It was Jesus Christ Superstar. At the time, my favorite album. I knew every word of every song. There was a #1 hit on the radio, I Don't Know How to Love Him, by
Oh,
Yvonne
yes.
Elliman. And so I said, I can move. I'll try out as a dancer. I really had only done theater once before in my life. And so I tried out as a dancer, and they asked me to do a vocal audition. And they said, did you bring any music? I said, no, but I'll sing the song that's on the radio. I Don't Know How to Love Him. So I sang I Don't Know How to Love Him. And I just, I've always been this person, not afraid to make a fool out of myself. I belted it out like I was alone in the shower, closed my eyes and belted it out. And the next day, I go to look at the cast list. My name's not on the dancing chorus, and I am actually cast as Mary Magdalene. Almost peed my pants. Honestly, I just about fell out of my shoes. I couldn't believe it.
And what a great show it was,
Oh, my
Monica,
God.
wasn't it?
We killed it. It was such a good show. It was uniquely done.
Was it
and
83?
I want to say
1983 we did
84,
it.
maybe.
What's that buzz?
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. But honestly, I remember going out in front of an audience. This is the first time I've sung by myself in front of an audience ever in my life. And it's how big was that theater? 200 people? 300?
Very small.
Yeah, it was pretty small. But
Yeah.
it was, there was
Oh, yeah,
quite
there
a
was
few
plenty.
rows in that old theater, the original one.
Yes.
And I walked out there and I was shaking like a leaf, ready to throw up in my own mouth. And, and I go out there and they start playing the song, remember, try not to get worried,
Oh,
try
yeah.
not to turn on to, and I start singing it. I got Jesus in my lap, right? And halfway through the song, I realize, oh my God, this is who I am.
Yes.
This is my home. This is where I belong on the stage. And I was like, it was like this crystallizing moment, and I was emotional. And we got off stage, and the guy playing Jesus, Larry Kaiser, says to me, are you okay? He said, do you almost cried out there? I said, I know. And I told him what happened. And
Right.
so ever since then, I did a little bit of music after that with a band that I ran into. And then I got married. I got pregnant with my daughter. I raised her, and I drove her to college. Her first year of college, and on the way home, I decided I was going to start a band. That's my story. And then 6 years into that, I started learning how to play acoustic
I know.
guitar.
Let's talk about the bands, because I know there's Stiletto.
Yes.
What other bands?
Stiletto was my band. It was the band that I started, fronted by 3
Amazing.
powerhouse vocalists.
Yes.
And then I got asked to be in a band called Mambo, which is a Latin band. And I was with those guys for, I'm going to say 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
It's a great acoustic, a Latin band. We played all kinds of great gigs together. Julio Quesada leads it. I just love them all. And, but I just got pretty busy and I couldn't do that anymore. When I started playing solo, every time he called me for a gig, I didn't have, I wasn't available that day. So, I helped them find another singer, and eventually 2 singers now down the road. But,
Right.
and then I was subbing for somebody in a band called Ruby Port that was a classic Erie band from like the 70s. And I subbed for somebody when they lost their singer. And they had a big event coming up. I think it was Joe Sinnott's
I was going to say.
inauguration or something. And I played at that thinking it was going to be a one-off, and they just kept calling me for dates. And so I played with them for about 3 or 4 years. And again, it was all just I got really busy with the solo thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you say to yourself, well, I think I'm going to learn how to play guitar myself.
Oh, yeah, that was
Talk to me about that.
6 years into Stiletto. And that came from, so my daughter was, a teenager, and for her birthday, she wanted an acoustic guitar. So I bought her a guitar, and she lost interest in it after about 3 lessons. She lost interest in it. Her fingers hurt. She was a teenager,
that's the
easily
beginning.
distracted. Yeah, but thank God for her, because there it sat, and I picked it up one day. I had tried my entire life to learn how to play piano and to be able to be fluent and accompany myself as a singer. and I had never been able to do it. I picked up that guitar. I was doing it in a week. And listen, I am not a virtuoso. I don't get gigs because of my guitar playing. But, I can hold my own and I can accompany myself and I can play along with people,
Sure.
other guys and, other people and stuff like that. But, so that's what happened. That's how so it was because of my daughter.
And how many?
Thank you, Kelsey.
How many guitars do you have now?
I have 10.
10?
It's a disease. No, it's a disease.
It is. It is.
Well,
I
and then
agree
you
with
know my song, 3 Guitars. That's where I got a couple of those. So, I have, it's a disease. I was just in World of Music picking up a microphone because mine rolled into the water outside of Woody's, that little pond they have.
No.
I set it on the bar and the bar is off kilter and it rolled into the water. So I had to go buy a new one. And
I see that happening.
I was walking through World of Music and I just put my hands up like this. I put my hands up like I was wearing blinders because I didn't want to look at any of them. It's a disease.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So let's talk.
How many do you have?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have 3.
All right. That's respectable. Yeah.
It is. The other ones I gave to my son.
Oh, okay.
You
So
know what I mean?
have
So,
more. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you caught it. You caught the disease.
Oh, sure. Let's talk about 6-string cure. How did we get started on?
So like everything else that has happened in my life, like learning that I could sing, learning that I could be a playwright, learning that I could do, play guitar. It all happened by accident. And so, when I stumbled into playing guitar, I have stories to tell. It's why I was a playwright. I wrote 4 plays and I had a story to tell. And I thought, I wonder if I can tell this on guitar. And I wrote my first song. It was 10 years ago. And I wrote my first song. And at the time I was in stiletto and the keyboard player liked it. It was a blues shuffle. And he said, I like this. Let's produce it. And so he and I, and working with Tom O'Cam doing the production of it, put this song together. And it just absolutely turned out so well. And it sat on the shelf for 10 years. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, Trevor Huster came home for Christmas break because he lives in Denver now. And we recorded 3 of them. And then last year, I was flying from Dallas to California to see my daughter, and I decided to make a stop in Denver for a couple days and produce the last 2. Yeah. But these songs are stories that I need to tell, and every one of them helped me to heal from something, helped me to get over something, helped me to understand something. There's a song that saved me,
That's incredible. Tell me about My Body Tells Me, because that's what I'm going to play.
That's the first song. And this song is about, have you ever been attracted to somebody, like viscerally attracted to somebody who is so wrong for you? And you see them and it just, like, you think you're over it and it just starts all over again. That's what this is about. It's very visceral.
I see you walk into the room, a little smile out of my face. I run my fingers through my hair and I sway my hips here in my chair. My body tells me, my oh my body tells me everything of life. My body seems to know
Oh, that is some sexy stuff, girl.
Sexy part in it. Yes, it does. It has a little bit of sexy in it, a little cheeky in one point, people's eyebrows raise. Yeah. But I mean, that's, that's the feeling that I had,
I feel like
and still freaking have when I see this person. Doggone it. Can't get past it.
That's great. So how did everything go last night for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, the Erie Distillery is an awesome place and their vodka is killer, but it's not a big place. Let me tell you, I wish I could have blown a wall out. It was great. We had so much fun. My daughter came from California. I had, no idea up until just before that she was coming. And, yeah, it was really exciting. And I put a little band together and we played because Trevor's my band.
Sure.
My producer is my band. He played everything but acoustic guitar. And so, I mean, it's just great. He did a great job. We had so much fun. And it was a celebration. It was great. We had cake,
Well, and Monica, I'll never forget, I was out of town for like 11 years and I come back and I was down at AHN for something and I bumped into you and one of the doctors was standing there.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "She's so famous. She's very famous."
Oh my.
And I, the three of us were talking and you turned to me and said, "I have sung over 200 shows in the last year. I think it was like 200 of them."
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Like
that
you
year. Yeah.
you have pounded the pavement in your career.
Yeah, it was fun. That was my all-time. I think I'm not sure if it was quite 200, but it was 3 figures that year. It was a lot. And I said, I'm never doing that again. But yeah, I have done a ton of shows. I average about 50 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
Now, what's next for you?
So what's next for me is there is a beautiful song that I wrote called Find Me. And it reminds me of the prayer, the one that Andrea Bocelli did with Celine Dion.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. I lost my mom last year, and there's a singer named Daniel Cabanillas.
Oh, Daniel.
Sings like Josh Groban and Andrea. I mean, he's amazing. And my mother loved him so much that I got him to sing Ave Maria at her funeral. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house. He's incredible. Well, I sent this song to him. I said, my mother would die if I did this, or my mother would just be so happy, smiling up in heaven if I did this song with you. And he listened to it and he said, I would love to do this with you. So I'm going to record that with him. But other than that, I'm going to keep playing guitar. I'm learning how to loop. And I'm going to do
that is really what is going on with a lot of acoustic acts right now. They loop a lot of stuff in and you sound like you have a full band behind you.
I'm not going to loop in advance. I'm going to loop live where, I put the drum, I pound on my guitar while I'm sitting there at the microphone and put the drum down. So if you've ever listened to KT Tunstall's Black Horse and the Cherry Tree, that is all her. Watch on YouTube. She does that all in about 5 minutes. She puts down, a couple of beats live while the audience is right there, and then does some harmonies right there, and maybe lays a guitar line down, and then starts playing the song. It's super quick, and it's not pre-done, so it's a live performance. That's really important to me. That's how I want to do my music. If I'm going to use anything using a recording, I want to do that.
Yes,
because to me that's more spontaneous. It just seems like more me.
I was out in Conneaut, Ohio, not too long ago, down at the barbecue, down on the bay, their bayfront, and there was a gentleman that did the same thing.
Yeah.
He'd start the loop and he'd go into the next thing and next, and we would sit there and try to determine what song was he playing? You know what I mean? Like, okay,
it's kind of a guessing game.
Yeah.
And
then all
it
of a
only
sudden
should last a few minutes, But my teacher is the master of it, and that's Justin Moyer. He is the master of
Justin.
looping. Yeah, he's great. He's great.
He is the master. So he's teaching you all these.
He is. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Girl,
yes. He's the taskmaster.
You are nonstop.
I just have to keep growing. I don't know.
So,
my friends are all retiring, and I'm like, what's next?
So this is your EP. We did play 2 songs. Tell us about the other 4.
So
I played Kiss You,
Did you play Kiss You?
Yes.
Oh, before I
But
got in.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yes. Before I started. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, Kiss You. And that was a story of a hesitating when you meet somebody new and you hesitate. And he wasn't from here. He was from like around Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember as he drove away, I was like, oh, hell, I blew it, because I just hesitated,
Right.
know? You can't, sometimes you just can't hesitate. And so that song is about regret, but it has a hopeful note at the end.
It does. It
So,
really,
yeah.
really
Yeah,
does.
thank you. It's kind of jazzier than the other stuff. It put me in mind of Nora Jones a little bit, like something she might do.
Yes.
And I learned how to play a bar chord on it, so that was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tell me where I can get your EP. Can I
So,
download it? Where?
EP is out there. So I had CDs last night at my party, and I still have CDs. And CDs can just reach out to me if you want a
Great.
CD. Reach out to me on Facebook if you want a CD. It's the easiest way. And then if you want to download, it's on all the streaming services. I actually, the day before my party, I had him. I said all the songs are gonna drop on Saturday, but because I didn't want to, wait too long, I had them there before that, and I had 7 albums sold the day before
that's
my party.
great.
So gave me a little confidence.
Thank you, Monica, for sharing your talents with us
You
on the
bet.
Breakfast Chat.
Thanks for having me.
And until next week, life will become much easier when we finally understand which hands to shake and which hands to hold.
I like that.
Thanks for coming in
Thank you.
and making a difference in the 814.
You've been tuned in to Breakfast with Nat the Hat in the 814, sponsored by Erie Insurance on 88.5 and 102.7 LECOM Radio.